Your generation is fucking doomed, ain't it?
Yeah, and no one's tough anymore. I think that's kind of the problem. I think toughness used to be valued back in the day, especially my grandparents when they came here and they were immigrants, and you know, it was hard. There was a struggle. There was like a rite of passage to come to America, and now like no one values any struggles from people that came before us. No one's tough anymore. The hardest thing people have to do is like getting a normal job or like, you know, working a 9 to 5, and like they can't even handle that. They need prescription.
Working 9 to 5,
Yep.
what a way to make a living.
Good transition into a show tune.
I love that show.
Me too. It was a good one.
But continue.
Yeah, I just don't think anyone values toughness anymore. It's like toughness used to make people stronger and have them persevere, and it made people successful, and that's kind of like what identified people as Americans, and they wanted people to be comfortable instead of going through tough times. So now everyone's comfortable.
I used to get in so much trouble when I went to Buck's baseball games, as he'll attest to, and go, I screamed stuff at the kids that I felt like they needed to hear, but they were not hearing. Because I knew they were engineering him to a bunch of fucking commies.
You hit the ball and run over and over. That's all you ever said.
I didn't just say that. I said, concentrate and focus on the ball.
The kids need to know.
And then when they didn't do it, I go, you suck. And then they all went nuts. All those young parents, the third wives, you know. They got the same husband that I grew up with, but now he's on his third blonde wife. And he screwed his first wife out of everything, and she's the one that fucking made his ass.
Yeah.
You know, this fucking low-down left. It isn't nothing but another pyramid yank.
Yeah, I totally agree. Not sustainable either. Like,
No.
You know, it's two different visions of America, it feels like, clashing in one. I think a huge mistake right now is people think liberal and leftist are the same thing, and people think apolitical or not paying attention to politics and liberal are the same thing. So like the leftists kind of like, you know, intertwine themselves into the left side of the spectrum, and it's getting to the point now where like I don't even recognize the Democratic Party anymore.
Nobody should recognize that goddamn crazy ass bunch of lunatics and robbers. Fucking, have you seen where Maxine, I don't believe she even has walked through her district.
Oh no, definitely not. It's terrible.
I mean, that's elitism. It's just that leftist elitism, you know. And they live in fucking vineyards and shit, and they're making people fight over the scraps they didn't steal yet.
Exactly.
And I've had enough of that shit, and I'm going to culturally appropriate, or whatever the fuck you call it, this here wooden spoon, because this is what I did, in fact, use on my kids. I was not a permissive mother.
That's what I'm trying to do,
And I never taught permissive attitudes on my show either. They always had consequences.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's why they're trying to get rid of that now.
That's why I use the spoon. I think that the people who are protesting and having these temper tantrums never got told no before. So I'm kind of like subliminally bringing the wooden spoon down on these people for the first time. And it's interesting too, because it's crazy that everyone hates Trump so much. If you were a classical liberal or a left-leaning person, you should kind of like the guy. He is a liberal person at a base.
He's progressive.
Progressive,
in
he's
the
self-made.
true sense of the word.
Yeah.
He wants peace and order in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want anarchy, chaos, child trafficking, slavery, or, you know, figuring out how you're going to kill as many people as you can kill that week. That shit's old.
Mm-hmm.
It's over. I want it to be over.
Yeah.
And I'm proud that we raised a generation like you that can think for themselves and not just parrot bullshit. If I did run for I did run for president, and my cornerstone was I will outlaw bullshit, because bullshit is a lie, and lies are not sustainable. Why don't people know that? They're all liars, that's why.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can figure out of it.
Yeah. Truth is very rare these days. Everything's backwards and upside down.
On purpose, just to confuse people.
Yeah, and that's like, even with what we're seeing with like racism and sexism, all these isms, I think, are manufactured by the 1% of the 1% of the 1%, the tech overlords, the corporations, the media, to keep us off their trail. Because I think classism...
Who pays them?
I think it's their own special interest. I mean, they're so rich. I think it's classism I could see being a thing before racism. Racism exists, but I think classism's a bigger problem.
That's what they don't want nobody to talk about.
And it's like, if we have men versus women, black versus white, Jewish versus everybody, then...
Everybody versus Jewish. How'd we get Hamas in Congress?
Literally.
how do
Scary.
people, the progressives, I mean, okay, the progressives pretend, I guess, or they say that they are for the rights of the marginalized. That's what they're yanking to get their fucking dough with. That's their fundraising technique about protecting the marginalized. But then they go and hook up with people who kill the marginalized, and the motherfuckers can't even wake up for a minute to even assess if that's correct or not. Instead, they'll just try to shut me up.
And I think
Because they hate thought.
yeah, that's it.
Don't they?
That's so true. And I think people are waking up slowly. They're getting less scared of the words. I think because the silent majority, we've been silent for so long, we've kind of forfeited the narrative to the mainstream. So we're like, I don't want to step up and defend the president, or I don't want to step up and defend this person who got politically discriminated because I don't want to get called names. So when you do that, the mainstream controls the narrative. But now I think people, for the first time in a few years, are not scared anymore. And they're realizing, oh, it's just a name. You call everyone that. And they actually watered down Nazi and racist and all these things.
Well, they did it on the other side, too, because first of all, I just want to say, I knew that Trump was not a fucking Republican. So did everybody who had a brain, who can think out of the square little veal box they keep us in. I think we're human veal to them.
Yeah.
And they do eat us. They eat our ass. And I know they like the tender meat of an old Jewish woman, loudmouth, the most.
Yeah, I'm sure I taste great, too.
I bet you do.
Got some good marble in me, I bet. But I think at the end of the day, the media has been basically describing the political environment to anyone who's not fully paying attention, anyone who's grazing headlines, who I call the apolitical middle, which I think 50-something% of the country doesn't vote. But those people are pretty much in the middle. They've basically convinced those people that, politics is just, the bigots versus the non-bigots. It's the racists versus the good guys. It's the oppressors versus the oppressed. And everyone's like, I don't have to pay attention to politics. It's too much. But I do know, Trump's the bad guy and the Democrats are good. That's wearing out. It's not lasting anymore. People are slowly waking up. And when you see the lies told by the mainstream.
Well, they got to fastly wake up a little bit faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just have to say, for any Jewish person in America to be a Democrat is just like to be an avowed anti-Semite who wants to censor any talk of anti-Semitism in our country. Like the Democrats, the thing they just passed, they didn't even mention American Jews.
Yeah.
And that's who all this shit is for. We're the ones getting shot and fucking every other goddamn thing and called dual citizens. That's why I went to Jerusalem to pray for the United States, which is my country. But I went to my holy place in Jerusalem and prayed for the soul of America. Because I grew up here and this is my country. And I don't like being accused of having a dual citizen or nothing, especially by people who worship Rome. They're not going to tell me about a holy city, okay? I'm not going to listen to their bullshit. That's my holy city. And I went there to pray for the soul of my country, the United States of America. I just want to say that.
Yeah, we need it. And those are definitely much needed prayers.
They will divide us down to who's wearing a red tie. They already got us divided by words. And words don't mean shit. It's what you do that matters.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's the biggest issue. I think the people are waking up because I think, that red pill feeling, once you kind of realize you've been lied to, it's such a powerful feeling. You see lies on the grand scale. Like I used to watch CNN, casually, not paying attention. Now I watch it to kind of chop it up and analyze it. I was watching Don Lemon the other night, and he said,
my God, if I ever...
We censored Don Lemon.
I was already censored for saying I would slap certain people I came into contact with at certain times. But then they put me on medication. And now I can promise I will not do that. I forgot what were we talking about?
We're talking about the anti-Semitism that exists on both sides, but the difference I'm seeing...
it's a tool, it's a yank. Because it's just like, and they got it all set up, and they've been working on it for a really fucking long, long time. It's part of the yank. If the left ain't robbing you, then the right hand will. The American people are getting yanked from both sides, and I represent the vast middle who doesn't even vote because they know it's a fixed bullshit system. But I am asking them people just this one time in 2020 to come and vote. You people who have never voted, if I have ever made you laugh at all for 1 minute, you owe me. You go registered and you vote for the first time in your life. And you vote vast middle in opposition to two extremes, which are both invested in debt, slavery, and all this other bullshit that they call, whatever they call. I'm not even talking their language anymore. It's time to invent a system that works for actual people.
Yeah.
And we can do it. We have the technology and the brain power to do it.
Yeah.
Those guys that are sitting there in, Silicon,
Mm-hmm.
the Silicon...
Silicon Valley.
Silicon
Valley.
I call it
I think
Silicon.
that's the valley over here.
No,
that's the valley in LA.
Well,
is
they're
Silicon
connected.
Valley.
They're
Yeah.
connected.
Oh yeah, they are.
I've been over there to Silicon Valley.
I've been to both, yeah.
They're all what I call, quote, second wives.
Makes sense.
It's
Money
all
wise.
a war against women's rights to me. I don't know why anybody can't see that. I can see when they have male feminists who are so fucking dick-tarded, they will parrot the worst self-hating shit.
Yeah.
They don't have no pride.
They hold the signs up and they wear the pussy hat and they think it's going to work out for them. It's not.
It isn't. Why have they brainwashed themselves?
Yeah, it's true. And the
Do you think it's the media?
yeah, it's 100% the media. The media and the narrative, the Democrats, the media, and the narrative is all one thing. And the good news is, and you were saying this before about the people that don't vote. My thing recently, I've been going to college campuses to give like speeches to college kids. People,
Yeah, I've
like,
been watching.
hilarious.
That's why I said, are you afraid for your generation?
I mean, I am, but I'm also hopeful because I think we have more in common with the average non-voter, the person who doesn't care about politics. We have enough in common with them to make them not progressive enough for the mob. And once they've been disavowed by the mob, now they're political refugees. And as long as we're offering like a cooler community, cooler culture, we'll soak all these people up in 2020. It's just a matter of them actually knowing what's going on, realizing they've been lied to, and like taking some interest into politics. Not the most, you don't have to go all the way in, just some. So my next video.
What do you think about this idea?
Tell me.
My other idea. There's got to be another party because Trump ain't no Republican. And I'll tell you something on how I know, because a lot of us people who wanted Bernie, who were socialists, and we're thinking about Bernie because we're not communists like these here.
Mm-hmm.
This left ain't your daddy's left. This new left, that ain't your daddy's left. But your daddy's left, that was working pretty good.
Yeah.
Where people had a social safety net. And a lot of us who were pissed that Bernie got fucked out of, including Seth Rich, when he got fucked out, I knew the Bernie bros were not going to fucking sit there like Sarah Silverman told them to do. Oh, suck it up and vote for Hillary. They went, fuck it, we're voting for Trump. And that's what blew up the fucking system.
Yeah,
and
they're not going back to Bernie in 2020.
A lot of us, people who believe in a social safety net for American citizens, and like some decent kind of health care where we can cut out a fucking insurance yank, if that could just be worked out between both parties, then we would be restored in our confidence that we have a government that represents us, the taxpayer. But we don't have that guarantee anymore because neither of them are speaking to that subject. Am I right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I think 2020 goes to Trump, and I think they run the left runs the progressive agenda they try to run. It's not going to work out, and I hope by 2024 they can run some middle of the road, normal, moderate Democrats again. Because if they don't, I don't want to say civil war because it sounds so bad.
That's what they're trying to push on us.
But it's like two different groups that are fundamentally very different, and it's just like bubbling up like this. And unless we win over the people in the middle and outnumber them by a lot and have people kind of appreciate America again, American values, what freedom actually means, if we don't win these people over.
Where there are women's rights.
Yeah.
And women are equal. Well, not quite yet, though, because they're still dangling that one. I thought that was a yank. Just they stopped 2 or 3 states short of ratifying the Equal Rights Amendment. And then they took on all this other bullshit. I'm not calling people's lives bullshit. But when you're being used as a human shield for a faltering, never working narrative that means to enslave you with in debt forever, you need a third party. And I'll still be voting Republican until there is a viable third party. I don't like libertarianism all that much.
Same,
do you?
Same, no. I think it's
They're
a
trying to
cop-out.
corner the market on options.
I think it's kind of a cop-out to be libertarian. I think there needs to, you need to take a stand a little bit. To be libertarian is just like, oh, your ideal situation if you're libertarian all the way to extreme is like anarchy and just like super self-reliance. I get it, but there, you have to be realistic with what we're dealing with. We have two parties right now. We have to support the right people. I mean,
What's our goal, though? What are we supporting?
American values. I think that's the thing. The fundamentals, left versus right in 2020.
When I grew up, American values was that there would be no veterans sleeping under bridges. We would never have let that happen, and that was a better time. I mean, it made more sense. Like if you believe in God and justice and the American way, you're not going to let your neighbor lay in feces as you step over him, because your kid might fall in that feces. Everybody took care of their neighbor and they cared for their community and their neighborhood.
I think community's been wiped out, I think, culturally by the left. Because the rights community used to be the church. It used to be religion. It used to be the, Sunday church, and you have a community within the church, and it's great. And then left
But then they took over the
culture.
church and told them they had to preach that, what's it called? Oh, some kind of doctrine. They got a booklet from the World Council of Churches telling them what they have to preach. And it was total socialism.
Oh, like SJW.
Yeah.
You think it's called like the social gospel of Jesus or something like that, where it's like you're not actually taking a stand religiously, but it's like, oh, like, you can do good and help these people and help these people. And it's actually, counterintuitive.
You know what they did, though? They started going around taunting victims is what they did. That's really what they did online. That was what came out of it, is taunting victims of rape and rape activists. They need to silence all of us, and they pretty well did.
Yeah.
And that is just shocking to me that America's let that happen.
Yeah.
But that's like such incredible mind control. First of all, if you don't think there's no mind control, tell me how many times you're going to hear this conversation anywhere, on the internet or on TV.
Yeah, very rarely. I'm a big believer in mind control. All the way.
How do we help break it? Because you can't just be a fucking lemming, run down the cliff after some fucking shiny object and sign on for your own fucking doom. I mean, they're grounding up baby parts into powder and selling it as protein. Why don't these fuckers know that?
It's true. I think the good news is, I personally wasn't the most political person until this last election, 2016, the last presidential election. And once I woke up, there was like a light within me, and I felt like an obligation to share it and turn other people's lights on, and that we're in a dark place that I was in personally.
This little light of mine,
right?
I'm gonna let it shine.
So I think that's kind of it. It's like they want people to be asleep. They want people living like this, just kind of like going about their day.
Total fear.
Fear and autopilot. And it's like once you light that little fuse, that red-pilled feeling, that rabbit hole, like you don't come out of the rabbit hole. You just go down and you're like, wow.
God damn it. You know what? I used to have a tattoo of Yosemite Sam, because that's who I am inside.
Okay. Good to know.
I love it.
Shoot from the hip.
Yeah.
That's good.
You don't shoot from the hip. Watching you, you're very serious. And I love that you are so respectful of people, and you're not a destroyer. You're trying. You're going, hey, what about? And you're actually, spouting out some facts, and they're facts. They're not sound bites. They're not narrative. They're American facts of people in America now. They're not taking care of the people that are in America now.
Yeah.
Why are they not doing that?
They just don't have the same appreciation.
Why does California allow homeless people to shit in the fucking street?
That's where I live in Skid Row. That's where I live. Literally needles, shit, piss, everything.
People fucking dying in the street.
Yeah.
And they don't even come for their corpse for 3 days.
Exactly.
Well, now they come earlier because they want them organs.
Yeah, that's true.
It's all about the organ meat.
Yeah, a lot about the organs. A lot of good organ harvesting action out there, unfortunately.
Did you ever read this book, In the Beginning Was the End by Oscar, Johnny would know. Merf.
Not a big book guy,
He said the
unfortunately.
time when humans consumed brains is when the mutation happened.
Ah.
See?
Like getting consciousness and like becoming normal humans, like conscious beings?
Well, the monkey
ate the brain and then
and the brain, and then it
became us?
turned human.
Interesting.
So it's like our monkey brains, you know, they evolved, you know, like in that movie Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you like that movie?
Yeah.
The original. I never saw any of the co-ops.
You never
or
saw
whatever.
the, yeah. There's some good tweets that came from that movie.
You mean from me? Well, I mean, it is the government. We're living like Planet of the fucking Apes in this
It's
country.
true. Oh, yeah.
We have, you know, this is what I loved about that movie, because it was, you know, the humans had mistreated the animal kingdom, in specific the ape population, in such a horrid, disgusting, satanic way for so long that they mutated into learning speech and all the things that they would do to evolve to, you know, a leadership position, but never taking that final leap to humanoid, because they were like, we don't want any part of that shit.
Yeah.
You keep that shit. We want no fucking part of that. And so we have to suppress you down because you're never going to go over us again. And they're right to feel that way, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a good story for sure. It made sense.
But then if you go turn around and do that to somebody else, what does that make you?
It's true. You become the thing you hate.
Isn't that horrible? Have you ever became the thing you hate?
No, but I'm aware of it, so I'm like keeping an eye on it. I'm trying not to.
What do you hate the most?
Just people that are so set in their ways and like stubborn and ignorant and oppressive on other people's views. So it's like I don't want to get to the point where I'm so sure about my thing that I'm going to tell you how wrong you are, and if you're not listening, I'm going to get mad and be like, oh, you're dumb or whatever. So I have to keep tabs on that and make sure I'm, you know, easing people in the right way.
Well, I love that you're keeping the dialogue between human beings alive, and God bless you for that.
Oh, thank you.
You are keeping it in a civil and loving dialogue, and that's what needs to happen.
Yeah, I think if we lead with the facts from the right and the craziness of the left, I think a lot of people who don't follow politics are going to say, you know what, I don't know what I am politically, but I'm definitely not that lady saying Donald Trump is worse than Hitler. So maybe I'm not left, maybe I'm not right, but I'm definitely not that. And once that happens, we're going to have a ton of people we're going to scoop up on the right. As long as our culture and community is cool enough, I think we need to be cooler. I think we're getting there. Like, we're the cool kids, like the counterculture is kind of on the right, but I think we need more cool kids because the people in the middle are going to want to hang out with people that are cool.
What if the Democrats nominate a cool person?
Their cool people are like Beto O'Rourke. So like, they think he's cool. But it's like, yeah, not cool. So like, let him.
He's not cool. He's
not
a
cool.
dweeb.
There's like, I can't think of one legitimate
We called that
cool.
type dweebs when I
Dweeb.
was alive.
He was like a skateboarder. He wore a dress in the band, which is fine. I don't care. But like, he wore a dress in the band. He's a leader.
He was trying to be Kurt Cobain.
So bad.
But Kurt Cobain was in no way like those motherfuckers.
Not at all.
He was for
the left
free
needs
speech.
leadership. The left needs leadership, and I think the problem is
That's why I'm thinking I should run as a Democrat. Because I know
Interesting.
if I was really going to split up the parties. But I just want it to go commonsensical on both sides, because these two tiny groups have marginalized the vast middle.
Yeah.
And they have like marginalized the voice of the vast middle. And so, you know, I want to represent.
Yeah, that's what we need. Because they've convinced everyone that everyone's far right, and then they've taken the position of far left. So there's so many people that are just like, well, I want less taxes. I don't want to kill newborn babies. I don't want to, you know, bring a ton of illegal immigrants here. Where do I go?
I don't want to bring Hamas here.
Yeah.
I don't want to activate the fucking cells of terrorists that are in every neighborhood.
I went to one protest, and it was right after Trump called MS-13 animals, and the people were siding with MS-13. One guy goes, well, you know, it's a big gang. Not everyone's an animal. And one lady said, I can't believe he said that. They're all human beings. He's a pig. I was like, okay, thank you. And I never called him out on the spot. I'm always just like, oh, like, very cool. Like, tell me more. Oh, cool.
What's the weirdest thing?
One lady said, if you can get an AR-15, what's stopping you from getting a nuclear weapon? So maybe like, I don't know, uranium-1 connection with Hillary Clinton, maybe.
Can you tell by the narrative they're spouting who's writing that shit?
Yeah,
I
you can
can
tell.
too.
You can tell talking points. And you can see
Right?
people on TV too. They go out there, you know what they're going to say, you know how they're going to say it, and then when you try to corner them, they'll just weasel and try to dodge for 30 seconds, segments over. That's how I see it going down. Donald Trump is worse than Hitler. One time someone told me that. And then in the Women's March, someone told me that women make 36 cents to the dollar that a man makes. It's like, I would hire all ladies. Ladies,
Do
job
you pay
openings.
equal pay to men and women?
Well, I've only had one intern, and
Intern?
yeah.
Does that mean you were you know what?
No,
Oh, good.
that just means I couldn't fully pay her that much money. But it was just like whenever I got paid for something, she got a chunk of it. If she booked like a speech or something, she got a chunk of it. When money came in, she was taken care of. When money didn't come in, she knew the game. And now she works at Turning Point, so she's happy.
That's exactly the story I like to hear about you young people.
Yeah.
Live in the word,
Mm-hmm.
the right word. You're doing the right thing.
It's good and evil exists everywhere, and it's just like, you know, it's bigger than left and right. It's bigger than politics.
It sure
it's just
is.
good and versus evil. There's
Yep.
one side that wants you in darkness and in chaos and in confusion, and within that they can kind of
And
control
under mind
you.
control.
I'm under mind control, and the other side wants you not
Free.
even saying, hey, Trump's the best. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
he's not that bad. Give him
No.
a chance. Hear him out. You know, because if
You
you're
better pull the big cha-ching on the North Korea deal pretty soon, right?
yeah,
Before the election, don't you think?
I do. And I think with stuff like that, we're kind of hearing how people react to it. Like, oh, the wall, or oh, North Korea, like, he's not a good deal maker. How's he not getting this done? This takes years to do. To think that since it didn't happen 2 weeks ago, that it's not going to happen, we're in a better place than we've been. And it's like, you know.
Obviously, he's not negotiating like Bush. He's not going in there. Listen, we're going to kill 4 million of your fucking people, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it.
Mm-hmm.
You pay us for protection.
Yeah, mafia status.
It's all the mafia, don't you think?
Yeah.
Everybody should rewatch The Godfather, don't you think?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so The Godfather.
Yeah, so that's kind of like that's what we're up against. People are hating on Trump, but they've never, I don't think, experienced like a real leader. Like there's people who are like, oh, like why is he doing tariffs? It's not going to work. And it's like, what did you study econ at Bucknell? Like, get out of here.
I
You
know.
Like, what do you know about tariffs? What do you know about negotiations at this highest level?
I know. I like how when they have their one talking point, and then you're like, could you explain that? And then they're like, you can see their program crack.
Well,
They're like,
yeah, and then who are you with? Like, trying to get mad at me.
Yeah.
I say, oh, Fleccas talks. And they're like, okay. What is that? It's
they're
a
being
YouTube.
activated.
Yeah,
The bots.
exactly. And, you know, maybe this person, this far left person, won't come around to Trump. Maybe they're not going to say, oh, you're right, I love the guy. But if you're watching in the middle, what side do you not want to be on? The girl who doesn't know anything, who can't admit Trump did anything good. I did a video last week, same thing. I said, can you name one good thing Trump's done? And the girl's like, no. And I was like, prison reform. That's pretty good. Well, no. What about the economy's pretty good? Unemployment's down across the board for pretty much everybody. That's not him, no. Like, they can't say one thing. Like, you can't even admit that the guy's doing good things when it's deserved.
They're
So
so under mind control.
Yeah,
They're
like,
afraid
whose
if
side
they
do you wanna
take
be on?
one step off the narrative, they'll be blackballed.
Exactly.
Because they are, because that is happening.
Yep.
What do you think of what the fuckers did to me?
So bad. So sad. But what was the silver lining? Was there a silver lining? You had support from the right. The right backed you up. Do you think they could have backed you up more?
Yeah, they could have done a whole shitload more.
I think that's what the problem is on the right.
Nobody
Our
does
community's
anything.
not strong enough, and
No.
we're all kind of
we
like
don't
our own
stick
thing.
together because it's under
Yeah.
mind control too. You got to be against this, against this. It's all who you're against. Well, where's that gonna fucking get you? If my kids acted like that, you know what I did? I'd go
Yeah.
like, look, your thinking is fucked up. Now, turn around and bear the booty.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause you're getting the spoon in the ass.
Yeah.
I only had to spank my kids once.
Oh, wow. I used to get it all the time. But my mom gets mad when I say that because she's like, you can't tell people I used to hit you. So I'm like, so she used to threaten me. I used to get threatened pretty hard with the spoon when I misbehaved. Some good
What
threats.
was called, get me a cigarette for Christ's sake. What's misbehaving called?
Talking back, fighting with my brother.
Did you and your brother beat the shit out of each other?
Yeah, we used to always fight all the time. We were good though. We had 3 boys. My mom's a super smart lady. She had a plan for us growing up.
What was it?
She was like, I was like this big, and she's like, you're gonna go to Duke, Stanford, or the Ivy League, or you're not gonna go to college. And I was like, how? I'm not smart. And she's like, well, you play football. And I'm like, okay. And then she's like, you're gonna play center because that's the position where you can like call the offense and like recognize the defense. Like the smartest player on the offensive line is the center, and you can be the smallest. And she did 3 boys: Stanford, Dartmouth, Princeton.
Shit.
Yeah, my sister went to Princeton too for tennis, but she just knew, like, all right, we'll get you playing sports. You'll be the best at that. We'll get your grades good enough, get your SATs high enough, and then boom, boom, boom. And then she even had it planned out for getting internships in New York. You know, you have to get an internship every summer during college, and then after senior year, you get an offer at a bank. So like we all did that. And I worked like in finance for 2 years after college.
What financial advice can you give us right now?
Nothing. Buy crypto.
Really?
Yeah, buy crypto now. It's super low.
That seems like the devil's money to me.
It is a little bit, but it is very anti-establishment. It's like decentralized. I think that's kind of like the vibe going forward. That's the theme of everything going forward. So it did have a bubble a year ago. People got smoked and the weakness left the market. Everyone who was scared like kind of panic sold and left. I think buying crypto now is great. I put like half of what I make speeches, I put half into crypto.
Well, we'll have to have that discussion another time. 'Cause
Yeah.
that'll be interesting.
I think there was a divine intervention with Donald Trump.
I do too.
To the point where it's like, did the future happen? And they were like, oh shoot, we can't elect Hillary. Let's go back in time and fix this. That's kind of like
It's
not
a
out of the
time
question.
warp.
Not out of the question.
It's a time warp.
It
for
is
sure.
kind of a time warp.
Because we can't. We got to be America first.
Yeah. And if we had let her, we would have lost it all. And I didn't even realize what was at stake. That's why, like, once he won the election, I was like, even if it's close, they'll cheat and she'll win. Like, I thought it was rigged to that point. Once he won, I was like, I was revitalized. I was like, invested in the game. I'm like, oh, this is it. Like, there's still a chance. Like, America's still okay. If she had won, game over.
Well, me as a Jew, here's what I have to say why I went to Jerusalem to pray for America, because if America turns on Israel, it's over.
Do you think we're coming into end times, biblical stuff like that, or not
Oh,
really?
I think we've been there for quite a while.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, but it's the end of the bad. That's what people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the age of Aquarius, the true age of Aquarius.
So there's going to be a little bit of like
A bump.
a renaissance, like a awakening, and then
That's
bam.
happening now.
That's what I think
a
it is, too.
renaissance. In art, like shit's bouncing off satellites and showing up on your phone. I mean, that's a renaissance.
Yeah,
And it's free, and no church or state can suppress it anymore.
yeah.
That's freedom.
It's like, how many people can we wake up before the final bell?
Well, we got to wake a lot of them up so they can just, all they have to do is say, no, N-O. Thank you for being here.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's great to finally meet you. You're an
Great to talk with
inspiration.
you.
This is for you.
Thank
Before
you
we
so
wrap,
much.
Austen, explain
Oh,
the
yeah.
symbolism behind the spoon. I think it's a great symbol.
Okay.
So,
You got a minute and a half on.
okay, so the spoon, I had to kind of pick what to use to hold my mic originally when I was recording. And I figured if I wore like normal clothes, like this and whatever, and I used a spoon, people would think I was an idiot and like discredit me and be like, yeah, like I'll talk to you. And like they kind of think they're here and I'm here because I'm some idiot journalist kid. And they would kind of like talk down and open up to me. And the reason I chose spoon is because my mom's Italian and I used to get threatened very hard sometimes.
Did you ever get spanked with it?
Of course. One time the spoon broke on me. And,
Oh, my God.
And my parents were like, well, my dad was like, well, what did you do? And I was like, well, I was talking back. And he goes, you shouldn't have talked back. And then he made me pay allowance money to fix the spoon.
Oh, shit, that's
Dark.
a mind fuck.
Yeah. I was like,
Wow.
wow. It's not only did you get hit with the spoon, you're going to pay for a new one. So next time you get hit with the spoon, there's not going to be any delay. No problems. So
That's a limit.
It was a good. It was
He
a
was
good.
a good dad to put
good
limits
dad,
on you.
really good parents, and any success I have or anything that I've been able to do is 100% attributed to the
What
way I
would
was
he have
raised.
done if you told him you wanted to be a girl?
He wouldn't even. He'd be, what? Get tough, something like that. Get tough was always told to me. Get tough. Are you hurt or are you injured? Oh, you're hurt. Get tough. You're injured. Come out. You're hurt. Get tough. So I want to be a girl.
That's
It'd be
good.
like, what?
Did he say that to your sister too?
Yeah, because she was playing tennis, which is like a one-on-one sport, and it's super, mental. And she would choke a little bit now and then, and he'd be like, finish, let's go, like get tough, finish. And those lessons are, more valuable than anything I've ever experienced.
I'm so glad he did the same with his boy and his girl.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, we need to wrap it up because Jake's going like this. Here we go.
Please.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. You're the best.
Love you.
I love you.